Well, in the just concluded World Cup game, Costa Rica has just beaten Italy 1-0. The World Cup is just getting hotter. Very good evening. You are watching Urban at 9. My name is Joshua Poro.
And I'm Victoria Namtevi. It's now time for a look at the top stories. We pay the power bills. KCCA and police officials cordon off a British diplomat's residence for tapping electricity from the street lights line.
Even if I have to go to the office, I'll get full information what happened and how can I help you. Yes. Within result.
Members of Parliament today shrugged off new sanctions imposed by the United States government. MPs ask US to respect the nation's sovereignty. And in sports, England's journey to the final 16 in the World Cup gets complicated after Uruguay beat them 2-1. Action continues tonight as France takes on Switzerland.
Den muss machen und den macht Caceres ist es, der Rooney entwischen lässt. Der letzte.
You're watching Urban at 9. Now, members of Parliament today shrugged off new sanctions imposed by the United States government. The sanctions include entry restrictions for Ugandans deemed to have participated in human rights violations, as well as cuts and reductions to U.S. financial assistance.
Now, several MPs said the financial cuts could be absorbed by Uganda and asked the United States to respect the nation's sovereignty.
The sanctions imposed by the United States were announced by the White House last night. Today, however, representatives of foreign missions congratulated Honorable Sam Kutesa, who recently returned from New York. It is not clear how the sanctions will affect him personally, as no names were disclosed of individuals targeted for visa restrictions. Kutesa explained the focus of his tenure as President of the United Nations General Assembly. However, the U.S. ambassador was absent. The mission did not send a representative either to the meeting.
You know that in 2000, the year 2000, leaders of the world got together and developed 8 Millennium Development Goals to be achieved by 2015. There has been a lot of success with these goals, but this success has not been given in the countries or even regions.
Diplomacy by its nature is about communicating quietly what cannot be said loudly. The absence of the United States a day after sanctions were imposed says volumes. French ambassador to Uganda, Sophie Makame, congratulated Honorable Sam Kutesa and asked him to lead with fairness at the General Assembly.
We count on you as the elected chair of the UN session, UN General Assembly session, to uphold all the principles and values of the United Nations, including the shared UN objective to advance the protection, promotion, and realizations of human rights for all people, without discrimination or distinction of any kind or for any reason.
US-Uganda relations have been publicly strained following the passing of the Anti-Homosexuality Act. However, weeks after the president signed it into law, Washington expanded US military cooperation with Uganda by sending more US special forces and aircraft in the hunt for LRA leader Joseph Kony. The new sanctions will affect direct funding for health as well as some aspects of defense cooperation. Urban TV asked Kutesa about the sanctions, and he said his ambassador was working on the issue.
My ambassador in Washington has. Thank you.
The Ugandan government is yet to officially respond to the news about the sanctions.
Now, KCCA officials have this evening cordoned off a diplomat's apartment in Upper Kololo, close 6 here in Kampala.
It's alleged that the British diplomat taps electricity from the line for the street lights, which is paid by the authority. We have a report.
KCCA engineer and police reached at the scene and showed journalists where the wires that were stretching from streetlights eventually ended, and that was at Close 6, Upper Kololo.
They ordinarily, where are they supposed to be touching? What? If where would we be getting this source of power? Not here.
When KCCA officials knocked at the gate, a security guard opened, but on realizing that they were journalists, he denied them entry and asked them to wait for his boss, since he's a diplomat.
Why you are waiting outside shift? Because you didn't form, and this sometimes these are diplomatic questions. And if you are, I hope you are the area security officer of this area.
I am not a security. I am not an area security officer. Oh. I'm a security officer for the city authority, not an area.
City authority.
I'm not an LOC.
Eh?
I'm not an LOC chairman. I control security in the city.
In the city?
Yes. I have come to this premise. I have found a problem. I have knocked. You get it? What would be good of you is to make sure that the occupant comes out and gives us an explanation in respect to the issues we want explained over.
One day, one officer, this area is a diplomatic area.
After some time, officials from Gifoys arrived and faced police and KCCA and also refused to verify the owner of the apartment.
So what you will have to do, you first track this with the authority. Okay. I've talked to Odong.
Odongo.
The
post security manager BHC.
BHC.
Great.
And I've raised the matter to him. Okay. So I expect a response.
KCCA Deputy Spokesperson Kalumba said they got information about an apartment in Kololo that taps electricity from the streetlights line. Eventually, bosses from the Gifoy security group arrived and pleaded with police and KCCA officials to leave the diplomat's residence to avoid any embarrassments. The police agreed to leave the place on condition that the matter will be handled quickly.
They might have gone somewhere. You know, So what I will do is I'll give feedback on Monday.
Perfect.
Okay. Now, even if I have to go to the office, I'll get full information, what happened, and how can I help you?
Yes.
You can resolve it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Not a big issue.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
That is all.
Now, 1,440 soldiers that have been on a peacekeeping mission in Somalia for the last 1 year have returned. These have been replaced by 1,440 other soldiers in the 13-plus group. Apart from peacekeeping, the 13-plus group is to provide medical treatment to civilians of Somali nationals, among other services.
The commander of Land Forces, Major General David Muhoozi, said that the deployment of Uganda soldiers in Somalia was sanctioned and approved by the Uganda People's Defense Forces and Parliament to go and fight Al-Shabaab and restore security in the country of Somalia. General Muhoozi said at Entebbe Airport while receiving Ugandan soldiers from Somalia, as well as sending another group at 11 a.m. this morning, 1,440 soldiers in the 11-plus group came back by a UN plan. They have been replaced by 1,440 soldiers in the 13-plus group.
The deployment itself was properly sanctioned. It was justified. It's an AU mission, and as long as the reasons for that deployment last, I think our stay there is justified.
Muhoozi said that the group that left this morning comprises of veterans and will help the full stabilization of Somalia. He added that since they started sending UPDF troops to Somalia, there has been a great change in terms of peace.
Business in Mogadishu is thriving thanks to our foothold. Mogadishu is within our sector, Sector 1, which is for Uganda. All these troop contributing countries were allotted a sector. So our sector takes care of Mogadishu. And I want to report that the situation is far improved from what we found it.
General Muhoozi says the UPDF is doing a good job and cannot withdraw from Somalia completely.
There are still more areas which are threatened by Al-Shabaab, and there are ongoing operations to make sure that we do pacify the whole country.
General Muhoozi said that the rotation of receiving and sending soldiers to Somalia will close Wednesday next week.
You're watching Urban at 9. It's now time to take a breather.
But we shall return with a lot more in our local stories.
This is Urban TV.